I'm going to take you through actually live data entry on formed a new company just recently, and I'm going to take you through that. So I'm just going to shut down the browser and come back in because I'm going to log in as a different user this time. Okay, so go to the login screen. Right, and here's my new company. Okay, it's just got a number. Okay, let me go into that company. Okay, if I was creating it, I would, okay, let me take one step back. If I was going to create it for the first time, I'd click on Add New Company. Right, I'll put in the details, confirm it. Okay, it says that it will use up 1 credit. Okay, so the payment system, or it's a prepaid service. So you pay upfront. Okay, so you buy credits, and a credit, depending on how many you buy, because we give bulk discounts, it starts at 100 Rand and could go down to 60 Rand per credit. And that credit gives you a credit for 1 company or 1 CC or 1 trust. So when you create this one, you just have to confirm that you're going to use up a credit. You say okay, and then you'll have the item appear in this list here. Okay, and it will have an expiry date. Okay, 1 year from the day that you created it. You will get email notifications about 6 weeks before a company's expiry date is coming up, just to let you know that you need to that you're going to need to pay for it. In which case, gives you time to get the money from your client first, or to come in and actually delete it. Okay, if I have these coming up for renewal in November, but if I decide I don't want to renew them, then I just click on the dustbin and say delete, and it's gone from this list. Okay, it's not gone from the system though. Okay, it actually will appear under this thing called deleted entities. And at any time, well, yeah, basically at any time, I can go and restore that company. So if I want it back, I deleted this one. Where are we? These are my deletion dates here. Okay, so I deleted this one today, right now. If I want it back, I just click on that, and it will then be back in my company's list, all intact. Okay, if it had expired and I had credits available, it would have used one of those credits and it would have extended its date, the expiry date. Hope that's clear. Kerry asks, is there a register of special resolutions? Yes, there is. I'm going to show you now. In fact, there's a register of all minutes, resolutions, and documents. Okay, and we're going to work on that just now. Okay, so here's my new company that I formed. What I've done so far is just been through and put in the dates, the registration numbers, incorporation dates, and the details that were on the MOI. Okay, all the additional information. Okay, when I registered that company, I also got an email back from SARS saying what the tax number was. So I've put the tax number in there as well. My contact details of the person who owns the company. Then I went straight to the resolutions, minutes, and documents register, and I uploaded the documents that came back from CRPC. So let me just go find that email where I got those documents. Right, so this was the email that came with the COR forms and the welcome letter. Right, I saved those items to my desktop, and then I came in here and I said, right, add new minutes and documents. Okay, and the first one, It came in was a CRPC form. Well, it wasn't this one. This was actually the request for the incorporation. So let's take one of those that did come in, that 14.1. I marked it down, I gave it a reference, and I uploaded that document. So now if I want to look at that document, I just click on View Document, and there's my incorporated details. Okay, so that form is right there. Okay, I need to get it signed. Okay, so I need to print this out, get it signed, and scan it back in. But I did that with all the documents that I got on that email. And now I've got them on file. So if I want to look at this notice of incorporation with initial director details, I just click on there, and there I've got it. Okay, some of these you can even copy paste. Yeah, look at that. So I can take those ID numbers and things, I can copy paste when I create my details of directors, which is what I want to do right now. Okay, because I've got that form, I know who the directors were, I'm going to go over to directors and I add them in. Okay, I've got Carl and Carol here. So I added those directors, click on Add New Director. They came in and I fill in all the details that are required for the directors. One thing to note is the requirements in the New Companies Act are different to the Old Companies Act. Okay, there's a few extra things that are required. So if you've got the old registers, you actually need to get them updated anyway, because you need to fill in some details about email addresses and contact details that weren't applicable in the old ones. Okay, so bring in then the directors individually, their details. Then I go to the appointments. All right, I'm just going to delete this appointment so that I can add it again. But from this initial director details, I can see that Carl and Carol were appointed on the 13th of April. Okay, so I've done Carol already. Now I'm going to just add. So if I look up top here, important distinction because I get questions on this all the time. This section here is the director's details. Okay, so I've got the two directors in there. This section here is their appointments. So you'll notice that Carl has got a cross next to his name, not active, because there's no appointment been recorded yet. Okay, but Carol is ticked because her appointment is recorded, and there's the date of her appointment showing in there. So now I'm going to add Carl's appointment as a director. Okay, it will come up with a list. I can just accept from that list. Go here to the date. Okay, so that was on the 13th. It was a designation was director, appointment. Click on appointment, click on save. Appears in the list and gets ticked as now an active director up top here. Okay, if I want to print that register, there's a register of appointments. Okay, cool. Right, let's just go back to those other minutes documents. So that was the initial director details. What about the incorporator details? Oh, what about, here's the MOI. Let's have a look at that. And we see on the MOI, there was authorized 1,000 shares. Okay. Let's go back here. Let's go to classes of shares. Okay, the MOI, which is the standard one there, doesn't specify what those shares are called. I know on earlier ones, it referred to common shares. But on this latest one, it doesn't say what they're called. So you can call them whatever you want when you issue them. So I'm going back to the old terminology of just ordinary shares. Remember, they are no par value shares though. Okay, so this, when I enter this class, it's just ordinary shares. Of course, your registers for older companies are going to say ordinary shares of R1 each. Okay, because those are still what was issued. Okay, so we got the class, then we go to authorized. Okay, what was authorized? Well, by the memo on the 13th of April, it was 1,000 shares that were created or authorized. Okay. They haven't been issued yet though. Okay, there's the memo, and we have yet, the directors have yet to issue those shares. So when we get to allotments, we haven't done an allotment yet. Okay, but we know what we want to do. So the incorporator or the directors are going to now issue those shares. So we're going to do a new allotment. We'll give it a date. Say today. It's an allotment. It's ordinary shares. Okay, there's only one to choose from. Who's getting the shares? Okay, let's click on there. Let's see who's available to get those shares. Okay, I already set these up. I didn't show you that. Sorry, but I already set them up. Okay, so we'll just choose, and it's going to be Carol. And we leave this blank. So it says leave blank if you wish the system to automatically create the certificate. So I'm going to leave that blank. Now, when the shares are issued, they either paid in cash or in some other way, normally paid in cash. So we're going to allot 100 shares for 100 Rand. Could be any amount, but needs to be an amount. Can't be nothing. Okay, then it would be otherwise than in cash. Needs to have a value attached to it. And so all payable in cash. And if I click on save now, the system's going to record the allotment and issue a certificate. Okay, so new certificate added, number 1. Okay. If I go look at the certificates, we're going to see there's the certificate. Dated the 17th, issued to Carol, number 1, 100 shares. Voila. Okay, I want to print that certificate. Click on the little print there. There's the certificate. Okay, and it needs to be signed. It needs to be signed by 2 people. Right, so you print that out on cardboard or something, get it signed, and then you keep it. That certificate is the evidence of ownership. And it's the only thing that you cannot keep electronically and that be as valid as the real thing. Okay, the Act actually says you can't keep the certificate, share certificate electronically. You've got to have the real thing. That's why if you lose a certificate, there's a whole process to go through to be able to replace it with another certificate. So that share certificate's very important. Okay, what I would do though is I would get it signed and then I would scan it back in, and we've actually made it possible to do that. If I click on the little pencil there, I can upload a signed certificate PDF image. Okay, so I upload it there, and then I've got a copy of it. It's not worth the electronic copy that it is, but only the one that's printed and signed on paper is worth anything. But at least you got a copy of it. When that certificate's created, you also have the opportunity there to say now who the signatories are going to be. So you can put the names of the directors. Okay, you can select from the list, or you could just select director, something like that. Save it. I'll print that certificate again, and you'll see those names come out at the bottom for who's going to sign it. Okay, also, if we go to the SEC holders accounts, we'll see there's Carol, 100 securities in her account, 100 recorded on certificates. If I go to this little button here, I will see her securities account at the top and her certificates at the bottom. Okay, when there's a transfer of certificates, when there's a transfer of shares, that gets recorded in the share account, and then you cancel or issue certificates to match the share account. I'm going to cover that in a future webinar, because that's also an area where there's a bit of confusion. It is covered in some of our recorded webinars already, but we're going to do something on that going forward as well. Okay, so we have done the allotment of all the shares to Carol. In fact, under the SEC holders, Carl's actually not going to be a shareholder, so I'm going to go and delete him. Okay, don't need it, delete it, gone. Under directors, of course, Carl and Carol are both directors. Okay, if we look at the, when we did the allotment, I forgot to do something here. I did the allotment, but there's some tasks that go along with the allotment. So let's click on the tasks, see what they are. There is a director's resolution for an allotment. Okay, let's click on that little button and let's see what it says. There it will do the resolution based on what I put down as that allotment. Okay, now you can edit this as you deem fit, and then you print it, sign it, and scan it back up again. I notice that's resolution number 1, but I haven't recorded this yet. Okay. When the company was formed, there actually is a resolution that should be done immediately the company's formed. Let's go back to my tasks, okay, because I want to create that one. It's already there. Okay, let me delete it and then I'll start it again. Let's just delete those two, start again. Okay, so we get to tasks, and what I want to do is insert a task here, and it will be for the inaugural meeting, okay, which is some custom minutes. And I can have a look at those and see. Okay, so that's resolution number 1. It was inaugural minutes of a directors meeting when the company was first formed. Now, if that meeting happened at this defaults to today's date, right? But if that happened at an earlier date, for example, this did happen on the 16th of April, then I can just type that in. Okay, remember, this is like a little mini word processor just to be able to create the minutes and print them out for us. So I'll go through here and I say, okay, am I happy with this wording? Look, I need to say who was appointed the chairman. Okay, well, let's say Carol was. Control C, Control V. Okay, pretty handy to just copy paste. Chairman table this, happy with that. Okay, I'd never completed the details of the registered office. Okay, so let me go back to registered office. Let me put in the details of the registered office. But what are those details? Okay, I uploaded a minute. I uploaded into what am I doing? Something's gone wrong here. Let's go back to this. Okay, go back to those resolutions. And it was a CRPC confirmation. Okay, these are like filters, all right? SARS document, CRPC or all. Okay, I got I think it was this registration certificate. There we go. That's the one that's got the registered address on it. Okay, so if I go to the registered office, I want to add a new registered office. The date was there back in April the 13th when the company was formed. Postal address, physical address. Go back to these documents. Here's my postal address. Copy. Paste. Okay. I I don't like the way CRPC did that. Physical address, go back here, copy, paste, change that, and save. Okay, so I put in the registered address. Now if I go back to those tasks where I was doing the inaugural minutes, if I go to that form, now it's got my registered address in it. Cool, there's a time saver, right? All I need to do is change that date again. And I can print that. Okay, and I can print that to a piece of paper, or, well, from my browser here, I can choose different options. I've got a PDF that I can print it to, or just straight to the printer. Okay, that would be resolution number 1. Okay, let me print it to PDF so you can see. Okay, it's just called something here, so let's just do this. Okay, so I've saved that to PDF. It just appeared in my Adobe Acrobat, resolution number 1. I print that out, I get it signed, then I'm going to scan it back in, okay, as a PDF. I'm going to then go and record this as a resolution under my resolution minutes and documents. Okay, so I'm going to go and add one. It will be dated the 16th. It is a resolution. It is, I'm not sure if this numbers it. I'm going to leave that blank for now, okay? And I'm going to upload the PDF file that I just created and click on save. Okay, I thought it might give it a number. No, we put the number in. So now that, it's like pasting it into the minute book. That resolution number now is fixed. And if we now go to, what was the, I can't remember where I was now. I was doing the minutes for what? Oh, for the allotment. Okay. So if I go back to those tasks, there's my allotment minutes here. This should come up as resolution number 2. There we go. Okay, so that's the minutes of the resolution now allotting those shares. And again, I would print that out, get it signed, and upload it as resolution number 2. Okay,